on in. We are here. We're live. It's now about to be 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. We have about 20 seconds until the market opens up. We're looking at S&P futures, and they are down a little bit, but they're about flat, to be honest with you. They were down a bit more. They bounced back a little bit. We had some data this morning, which I completely kind of forgot about until just now. As I'm sitting here, we had GDP, and then we had jobless claims numbers come in. So GDP came in. We gotta refresh this, and I guess we can get all the data here in a second. I can go to the news screamer as well to pull up the deets. Actually, let's just do that quick, because that probably makes more sense to do that now. GDP Q2 actual 2.8 versus 1.4 previous. Estimate was 2.0, so coming in way above estimates, like not even close. I guess I don't know. GDP, is that normal? Does it usually do that? Jobless claims came in 235K versus 237. Estimate 245 prior. Okay. Yes, a little bit less. Continuing claims. PCE rises 2.9. Core PCE. Quarter two or second quarter core PCE rises 2.9%. A little higher than they thought. But we have PCE data for the month and whatever, I guess, tomorrow. So that's coming up tomorrow. And then next week is kind of chill until Wednesday when when Powell has his rate decision and press conference on Wednesday afternoon, which will round out the month of July. So that's kind of how we are about to finish July. So PCE tomorrow, which is a little bit more meaningful. And today was GDP and jobless claims. I mean, it moved the market. Not massively, but it moved. We had the data come out, and we got a little bit of a pop up, and then now a consolidation so far. But in the grand scheme, let's go to the 1 hour chart, because the grand scheme, here's how the S&P looks broadening it out. We had what looked like, this move back was, trying to bounce it right back. And then essentially yesterday, just annihilate after the earnings of Google and Tesla. The market was like, I don't know. I'm not trying to give you a reason why it went down, as in like, oh, it's because of Google and Tesla. Dude, when you start thinking like that, you're really, it's not worth it, because it's just not. But either way, that was maybe a catalyst, maybe, I don't know, whatever. Market decides to just turn over and roll over, and had a massive move down yesterday. So it was a little bit of a bounce, a little bit of a rally, and then boom, flush. So now, big move. Do we expect a massive continuation? I don't think that's, maybe what we should be expecting after a huge day like yesterday, where yesterday the market was down 2+%, which we have not seen on the S&P, which we have not seen in a long, long time, like over a year, I think, something like that. Crazy. So, just keep it. I mean, I just keep that in mind. When you get big moves like that, maybe you need a day or two of consolidation. So that's why I'm probably not going to be interested in much. However, if we start seeing continuation to the downside, then hey, I'll be there. My Bitcoin trade finally, Bitcoin 1 hour, like a little downside trade, could be setting up. I finally got stopped out break even, so I can get, well, I'm not going to get rid of this because I'll use it for the trade recap, which I'm going to film literally once I finish this live. But we do have a potential trade on Bitcoin here, not going to lie, under that level. I don't know how much I like that, though, in the grand scheme, because it has been kind of strong. But then that would be, I think that would be a big breakdown point. If we did fail under like 63.7 or 63.8, it's, about 63,800. If we failed that level, I mean, I think you've got a good opportunity for a nice flush on Bitcoin. So I'll mark that up. I'll put an alert on it. And if we get it, then cool. I might trade it. Actually, I'll queue it up. Not like it's a imminent trade necessarily. It could be, though. I'll queue it up over here, because this is where I would trade it. I would trade it on the 25K account. And let's see how that looks. It was on the 1 hour. Well, I guess you can look at the 1 hour. The 4 hour would probably look okay as well. Let's check out the 4 hour time frame. Yeah, I mean, either one looks good for a bear flag to me. 4 hour time frame honestly looks a little bit better. Looks a little bit cleaner. They're the same thing, though, essentially. So the look would be a break underneath here. I can even put a sell stop, but yeah, under that level, then the target would be, if we played it, we'd be looking for, let's say, a short under here. I would be going stop, top of that consolidation, So 64.46 or 64.5 roughly. And then a 2-to-1, just to get a rough frame of mind, a 2-to-1 would be a move down just north or just before it got to 62K, so the lower 62K range, which is not that crazy given that it, would be literally about $1,500 move will be what you're looking for, which is not that much in my opinion. I like that trade a lot. So if we get it, if we get the breakout, we get the breakdown, I'll play it. But we'll wait. We'll see if we get it. Again, this drawing is from the past trade on Bitcoin, which made money. Well, not as much as it could have if it went to the total take the ultimate target, but I made money on it 2 times actually, and then stopped out break even on the rest. Consolidation. I think if you let's take a peek at how the S&P and stuff looks. 1 hour on the S&P, trying to consolidate a little bit, but in a downtrend for sure. Yeah, Nasdaq too. The areas, if I go to SPY and QQQ, which I think were more interesting to me, let's check these guys out because there were some pretty big gaps. Yeah, there's a gap to fill. So if there is a trade to be had on the S&P today, that if I get a setup and we are, not at like 538 yet, if we are above 538, even 539, then I would probably trade that to the downside. But once we get down to about 537, that gap pretty much fills, and I'd be skeptical of a immediate, short unless it's an amazing, beautiful setup or something like that. So I'm watching that. QQQ already kind of filled its gap there, so SPY would be more interesting to me. But the Dow's up a little bit. The Russell is up a little bit more, up 0.4. I'm watching this. I'm really interested to see. I'm watching the Russell specifically because I think the Russell has the best opportunity on a bounce back or whatever ends up happening. Because if it holds up decently well, like somewhere up in here through this pullback, however long the pullback lasts, maybe it's more than a pullback. I don't know, and then it's kind of irrelevant. But if it holds up pretty well, I think we can see the Russell recover pretty nicely whenever the market does bounce back. Maybe the Russell wants to go to a new high of the year. I don't know. We'll see. Apparently Biden is alive though. Apparently he's alive because there's rumors he was not. Maybe he's not. If we believe that if you believe the that it's like all faked anyway. That's how you know. I feel like it's unfortunate that we have come to that situation where if you can't trust much at all. But I'm being honest. It's what I feel. I can't trust it. I can't trust much. So there's the Russell 5-minute chart. Trying to push back up. Yeah, Bitcoin will be the one of interest today, I think. Yeah, alive, yeah. Short and Rivian and Palantir the last couple days. Palantir, it's been an interesting one. I think yesterday was the day that, where is it? Oh, big move down. Yeah, yesterday was like the day where it totally broke because these upper wicks were super sketchy. I wasn't going to trade it long, but I was looking at that and remember like, oh, those were like some pretty big upper wicks there. And then yesterday it just completely broke down. You kind of had a sense that was coming based on the upper wicks that you had, but the trend or the higher lows just completely shattered yesterday. Could have been an amazing downside trade, to be honest, underneath here, underneath like 28. And then, poof, it's still going. But it has been surprisingly quite strong. Palantir has, at least, the past couple months. Rivian, you can say that you can make the argument too. But both are down today. Most stuff is down. BYD, I thought, had an amazing opportunity to get just absolutely obliterated. It just didn't do it. I tried. I played a short there, and I made where I was 3 cents away from like take profit, and then it came back and stopped me out break even. But oh man, they have earnings too. Earnings is like not next week, the week after that, I think. So you're getting close to that earnings, so it's not interesting anymore. But man, it does not look like a good chart to me. Coinbase getting crushed today. Not really surprised by that. Not really. Definitely not really. Yeah, this is the trade setup to be had on Bitcoin. The only problem is with this platform spreads are a little are a little annoying. They're like $60, which is kind of stupid for Bitcoin, but you got to just factor that into the stop and take profit realistically. So not a huge deal. Snapchat was one that I not missed, but does not look good. They got earnings on Thursday next week. Yeah, I was kind of like, I wish we had more earnings this week. I mean, there were some earnings, don't get me wrong, but I wish we had more of large caps coming through. But we'll wait till next week. We got more coming next week. Oof, man, AMD looks weak as hell. Let's see what we got here. Any interesting charts yet? No, nothing that's setting up to my likings at all. But if I go to my main day trade list, let's see. Tesla's up 2.5 or 2.75, but not surprising because it had a humongous red day yesterday. Amazon earnings on the 1st, so next Thursday, about a week out. But we got like what looks like a potential breakdown underneath 180 coming up maybe soon. Apple, I'm not interested in that. Microsoft weak. Google weak, not surprised, but I won't really trade that after earnings. Meta actually could be a good trade to the downside today. They have earnings on Wednesday next week, but I wouldn't be opposed to a day trade. Peace, dude. Peace. I mean, we're hunting. I got nothing open. I'm officially clean slated right now, so I have nothing. Well, we'll just keep hunting for like an hour, and then if I don't get anything, then all right. That's the plan. Meta is the one that I think could have potential for a day trade. Just need to give me a setup, and I would trade it because I like the bigger picture daily chart on it. So we will wait for that potentially for that. But then you got, we're bouncing around between that. You look at the Russell pushing back up to high day, the S&P trying to go back green. NASDAQ bouncing. Oil continues to go. Well, oil, I had a trade on it yesterday, and it worked. And same thing, it's kind of the many times this month. I had a decent month, but this is like multiple times now we've gotten so close to take profit, but then I move my stop loss to break even, and then it comes back to break even and stops me out. But overall, though, it's been weak. Yesterday's trade, I think, was really good. Or no, it was 2 days ago. It was on Tuesday. Was good, just didn't get to the ultimate target that I had. It eventually did, but just the way it got there was not going to work for my setup, my trade strategy. So is what it is. NVIDIA just dumped at the open and just bounced back. That chart doesn't look the best. If you were looking for a short idea, that does look pretty good, if you ask me. But preferably, I'm not going to swing a lot of these. I wouldn't really want to be swinging these large caps. Not even that. I'm not going to do it until after we get through the earnings cycle. Even though NVIDIA doesn't have earnings until end of August, I'm just going to leave because like it's going to react based off a lot of other stuff anyway, I would think. So I'd rather just not worry about overnight earning holds and just look at the bigger picture charts. And if there's a setup intraday, then there's an intraday. And then the only swing ideas I think would be probably outside of the individual stocks right now, personally. That's what I would think. The AMD's chart, I mean, I like coming down towards the 140 area. 139s is a volume node. Not that I think that's a humongous deal, but something to keep that. I will keep that one in mind. I just don't think I see a setup on it. Overall, the overall picture aligns with weakness, but I just don't see a day trade setup yet on that for me. Same with that. Looking for Meta. Still don't see it on meta either. You know, if you had to go and play a downside, I do like the S&P. For a continuation to the downside today, if we get a setup, same as the NASDAQ, I wouldn't be opposed to the NASDAQ. The Dow and the Russell are just strong, so I wouldn't play those today unless they really completely weaken out relative to the S&P and the NASDAQ. But that's it. We're just looking. We're waiting. How about mRNA? Let's check my mRNA. This one is one that I'll be watching. I almost don't want to trade it because I have this like weird feeling to like want to force a short, which makes me then, as I step back and think about it, it's like, yo, just don't even touch it. But if it fails the 115, I do like the short idea on that, but they also have earnings next Thursday, so you got to keep that in mind too. Here's Netflix. Could be an interesting short setup if we start to break down underneath the 630 area. Mixed bag today. You gotta have some up, some down. Home Depot is up today. Adobe is up today. About a ton. Tesla's up like 3%. Which would be funny if Tesla just kind of bounced right back and then filled the gap, or tried to fill up some of this gap that it broke down under. That would be funny. Not today, but like in the coming days, it would be kind of cool. ExxonMobil's up 0.17 despite oil being down another percent today. Interesting. Silver, look at, remember, man, silver looking back, I don't trade this, but was an amazing head and shoulders pattern. I mean, literally you could not make a more perfect, beautiful left shoulder, head, right shoulder dump. I mean, oh my God, and it's still going. Incredible head and shoulders pattern. They don't always work out that nice, I'll be honest. For those who trade that way, if you caught that, incredible. Microsoft is drilling. I like to just, my thing now I've been saying is just drilling. Whenever I'm looking for shorts, I'm like, all right, let's see if we can get a little bit of a drill here. Yeah, that just sounds cool. Microsoft is just drilling off the open. I mean, yeah. I still don't say anything that I think is interesting yet. Yo, what the fuck? Don't think we would trade that ever, but it's on the list. Ford, I didn't realize Ford got destroyed on earnings yesterday. Holy shit. Damn. Now, Ford is funny. I for a while I used to think that I wanted because I was always like as a kid I was like, oh, I want to get a Mustang. And as I've gotten older, I don't like the look of a Mustang as much as I used to. And I also have gotten to the point where I'm like, I don't want to be in a car that's low to the ground. I just don't enjoy getting in and out of a car like that. So I was like, you know, whatever. Mustang kind of came and went, whatever. It's cool, but you know, maybe, you know, if I'm renting a car, if I'm going somewhere, it'd be cool to just change it up with that. But I wouldn't want that for like my daily, you know, car. But the Mustang Mach-E, the electric Mach-E came out, and I was like, oh, well, that's, you know, more like it's higher up. It's, you know, a little more roomy in there. I was like, oh, this could be an interesting car. I rented it in Austin when I was there for a weekend a couple weeks ago, about a month ago now, and I'll be honest, like it was nice. Like it drove nice. Like it was kind of nice. Inside was very nice, whatever. But the practicality of it was just, there is no fucking way in hell I would ever buy that car, or I would ever want that car. Like, it could look beautiful. It was just so not practical for me at all. Now, for renting it for a weekend, totally fine. But for like, I was just thinking, like, well, if you like the charger that I used at a complex I was at, super fucking slow. So it charged the thing like 10 to 20%, not even 20%, in like 6 hours. And I was like, okay, that's stupid. You can go get a fast charger, but then you got to find a fast charger or have that installed. I don't know if you can even install that in your house. It's like a bigger deal. So like, it's not really that practical. It would be like, you kind of get home at the end of the day, plug it in overnight, and it would charge maybe like half the battery type of thing. And like, okay, cool. Like if you're using it to commute to work or around town, fine, but you can't drive that thing anywhere. Like, where are you going to go? Like you gotta, I don't know. I like to drive. When I like to just be able to drive and not have to stop as much as possible. So gas for now, until they can figure out the solar panel thing. That's my biggest thing. When they figure out the solar panels, they can charge your car while you're driving it. That is going to be when EVs take off, in my opinion. But right now, they're not practical at all. Or at least that situation, that car was not practical. Of course, I know there's fast chargers. I know, yes, I didn't use a fast charger. But even still, it's still going to take time to charge. Did Lulu have earnings? No, they just got fucked. Jesus Christ. That's a big ass move down. Damn. How's I not aware of that? Whoa, man. And it's one of those that we were talking about. And this is a weekly chart. We were talking about a while ago. I forget exactly when, but I remember we were talking about it on a live stream once. And I was like saying, a lot of us were saying, hey, well, rates going up over time, maybe not right now. And that was kind of maybe in this phase, somewhere up in here. Maybe not right now, but people's wallets are gonna want to be pinched a little bit. They're not gonna want to be breaking the wallet out. And maybe Lulu is not the best. And then just from like a big picture, not even talking earnings, I don't know much about Lulu at all. But like maybe that's an idea. And so far, hey, it looks like it kind of is working. If you were to play off a simple approach of like, earlier this year, saying, yeah, I don't want to be in. Of course, you'd have to short the stock, but take advantage of that. And I don't know, that's taking the risk of let's say the market was ripping higher and higher and higher. I get it, but I don't know. It was interesting thought, at least. Waste Management got rocked on earnings. Cheesecake Factory. All right, let's check out the top gainers on this list here. We got a healthcare company. We have package software company, new highs. That's actually an interesting chart there. Because this one, now I would go weekly time frame on this one. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would say if I traded that breakout to new highs there on the weekly, it would be a big ass swing that you'd have to sit in for a while, I would think, which is why I probably won't even bother with it, because I don't want to be in this trade for who knows how long. But if you got in, let's say let's say it closes strong today, 825 area, something like that, my stop would be 725. So you'd risk $100, and then your target would be ideally looking up towards $1,000 would be kind of your target, in my view. But that would be a swing that you'd probably have to sit in for a while. And I don't know if I would want to. I wouldn't want to do that probably. Personally, I'm good. But maybe one day I wouldn't be opposed. I just haven't traded the stock and watched it long enough. But now that's on my list, it's on the radar. So I'll keep an eye on it, but I'm not going to trade it. But it's good to kind of have, because sometimes, man, like, who cares? This is the one that just broke out right here on the weekly. Who cares, about the timing of it? Once you have a large enough size on the trades, I don't care. I mean, if I had to hold a trade for 7 weeks, but it made 10K, do I care? Not really. It's a nice fucking trade. Like, when you're trading with a smaller size, holding for 7 weeks to make $200. Okay, now it's like, was that worth my time? You know, was that worth it? Probably not. But 10K, I'm not opposed. Not opposed. So, I mean, and then eventually one day you hopefully get to the point where maybe you're like, yeah, 10K. If it's not going to be 100, I don't want it. If I'm going to hold for that long. But that's just the levels of the game. But right now, it would be nice based on the sizing that I've been trading with. Because I have a 10K account and I have a 25K account. We're close. Once I request a payout on the 10K account and I confirm like it's all good and how long the process takes and everything, and I do like a review kind of on that. Once I do that, then my plan is to buy the $200,000 account. And obviously you have to go through the funding or the challenge phase and whatever, but trade the same way that I've been trading on the 200K account, connect a copier to the 10K, trade the 10K as usual, and it just copies over to the 200K, and we roll with it from there. That would be kind of the plan. Not kind of, that is the plan. That is the plan. I have a plan. IBM, nice move after earnings. Man, this ankle is still just annoying me. But I probably, looking back, I mean, I don't know if I should have gone for a run, but I can't sit still, so sucks. All right, here we go. Bitcoin is getting close to the trade setup that I'm looking for. I will likely take that on the breakdown. You can go off the 4 hour, you can go off the 1 hour. There's kind of two ways I'm viewing it. They're both looking pretty good, pretty juicy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the trade up though. So I'm going to put a pending sell in. So essentially a sell stop, which would be, you got to adjust for the spreads here. So I'm going to like go for like this, essentially 63,628. And then I'm going to adjust or put my stop loss. It's going to have to go a little bit higher than that, like right up in here. And then my take profit would have to go just below this level. So just at like 62K pretty much would be my target. And that would be the trade. It would be, now I got to adjust the sizing. We will be looking to risk approximately 160 to make 290. Let's make that 169 to make 307. That sounds good to me. Could even bump it one more notch, risk 178 to make 324. But I'm down with the 169 to make 307. That's the trade. That's on the 25K account. So this would be a sell stop order. So let's put that in. And if we get the breakdown underneath the low of this morning, or I guess last night, then I'll be in. So watching that on Bitcoin. And other than that, that's the only opportunity. Now, if we reverse right back, here's the way I will go cancel this order. If Bitcoin just kind of comes up, and then if it breaks back above my original stop point, if we get up into here today before breaking this level, then I'm gonna, oh, we're about to get filled maybe here. The alert's going off, and we're closing in on the level. So let's see if we get the follow through. But yeah, if let's say Bitcoin I didn't get filled yet, I have yet to get filled. If I didn't get filled and it kind of came back up and reversed up through here, then I'm canceling the order for sure. That's kind of how, not kind of, that's how I do it. It's no longer a valid idea. I mean, I'm looking around at like AMD and other guys, like there's, you know, they're weak. Meta's weak. Like those charts that we were looking at before, they're weak. I like the shorts over there, but I just don't have a setup to trade them. You know, so you're getting more weakness today, which I'm not opposed to, man. I mean, bring it in, bring it on. Let's check in on the sentiment survey really quick. Interesting, because this is not that crazy. So we came in at 43% bullish from Wednesday to Wednesday, 25% neutral, and 31 bearish. So we did have, you know, what was a decently high bullish number. However, there was a decent amount of bears kind of coming in and less neutral than we had back about a month ago or a couple weeks ago. So I like the, it's not that bad. It's not that crazy sentiment wise, but good to see at least, you know, bulls. I don't know. Good to see. It's just data. It's not good or bad. It's just data. So Bitcoin, almost, I mean, it technically did break low of day, but my entry was a little bit further and didn't hit my entry yet. So technically, I have not been, not technically, I have yet to be filled. And if it does kind of, look at the upper wick now, or that lower wick, if it does kind of snap back and then push up through here, then I'm glad that I didn't get in, because I would have gotten stopped out anyway. But it doesn't look great. Doesn't mean that it's not a good setup later on. We'll just see. It's still pending, so I haven't been filled. But I have looking around. Like, let's go check out other stuff here. If you're looking around, and biggest downside mover on the day is Nvidia for me, which on my list is my main list. It's down about 4%. No setup to be had for me yet on that. AMD's down about 3.6, just absolutely drilling. Could you make the argument for something there? No, not really. No, I don't see anything that I would have traded. And then Meta's just drilling as well, with minimal consolidation, just completely drilling. So that's just kind of continuing to go down. You're just getting continuations for now. I mean, maybe you could have said that there's something on. Let's check out Microsoft. I don't think, no, Microsoft, I'm seeing over here, it's just drilling. Apple, I don't think so either. Amazon, and now you're starting to get to less weakness. It's still weak, but it's not as weak. The Russell, surprisingly, is up 0.6 on the day, so that's actually, well, that was up a lot more. It's coming down now, but it was up more. The S&P is now full. I mean, you could say there's maybe something here. Yeah, I mean, you could say that there's maybe something to be had on the S&P breakdown underneath the 1 hour lows from overnight. Something there, maybe. The NASDAQ, kind of the same situation. 1 hour chart from overnight, but I just don't like, I don't know, it's not as clean as I would like, so I'll leave it. I want that Bitcoin trade is what I want. If there's going to be a trade today, that's what I hope is what provides. Crude oil, no. I don't have to have the micros up here. That's what I put up here. That's what I don't know. I don't trade the micros and stuff. I don't trade on this. I trade on a different platform, but just to have the watch list. That's really all it is. Tesla surprisingly still holding up green. Let's see if it lasts. Bitcoin now getting closer to actually maybe breaking down. So it did bounce up a little bit, but now maybe we'll get the follow through here. See if we get filled on it. I mean, market's weak. Not that necessarily means Bitcoin has to be weak as well, but I do like your bets on it. It kind of has also seemingly been not following, but it's been like a delay almost. Like the market, Bitcoin's kind of been, market pulled back a couple of days ago and Bitcoin held up okay. And then Bitcoin finally yesterday, or the past 2 days, really kind of gave it out. Maybe we're going to get more of that today. I'm looking for a move from the mid 63s to essentially 62K is essentially the trade. And as long as it doesn't go above 64.5, we'll be good. So I have a Bitcoin recap to do. So if I trade Bitcoin today and it either hits take profit or stop today, I can do a 3-for-1. I can do all 3 recaps in one shot. Getting very close to getting filled here. But technically just broke new low a day on Bitcoin, but it's just like not fully just unwinding yet. It looks like it wants to, but it's like, do we really? Everything else is just weak. Everything except Tesla that I'm seeing in large caps just looks weak. Also, SPY is approaching 538. We were talking about 537 being the gap fill zone. So once you get down to 537, to me, I just am not interested in shorting because that would then be pretty overextended and I would need a consolidation to look to short SPY and stuff. So That's what I'm waiting. Well, I'm not really waiting on it. I'm just watching. But I do enjoy. I mean, as I think you're seeing kind of now, maybe not yesterday. Yesterday wasn't the best. I do enjoy the downside, honestly, a little bit more from a trading perspective. I just think from what I have seen, and I'll have to track it through my data and see, and if we get a more prolonged period of red and short trades, but the trades seem to work better. They're a little cleaner. They work faster, and there's a little bit less, I won't say stress, but there's a little bit less like fuckery on the short side. I find if you're catching momentum, it tends to be pretty good bets. It's just that, you know, do you get more shorts than longs? Not really. You tend to get more longs than shorts in general. And obviously the past, 2 years, we've had more long bias or more momentum to the upside than downside. It's just what we've had, simply put, market wise. So we'll see. I think it would start to get people in the Bitcoin camp like a little bit more interested in like, what are we thinking here, guys? I don't know. I don't try to think too much. But I'm leaving this. This is my old trade recap that I'm going to do. I'm leaving that open just for now. But here's the daily chart. You do have a little, not a little, it's a volume node here. Yeah, so if it breaks under 63, we'll get the move. That's why it's a little sketchy right here. But if we break that, I think we get the nice move. This might even be a bigger move, to be honest with you, than even I'm looking for. Still haven't been filled yet. We're like edging the order. It should be getting filled here any second. There it is. Now we're in. So we are officially in. And now we wait. Either we get stopped and we are going to, this trade we're looking for, what did I say before? 302 if it works. And we lose 174.61. Let's call it 175 if it does not. And it's approximately a 1.75 to 1, meaning I'm making 1.75 for the one that I risk. I could go probably a bit more, to be honest. Like, we'll see what happens. But I'm going to just let this one be I probably won't scale out. I'll probably let this one just be the trade and that's it. But then at the same time, I think to myself, well, let's say we really pull back and Bitcoin comes in and we go 60K or even 58s, because under 62, I mean, there's some volume gap in here. If we really flush into like this, even the 60K range, more kind of a psychological spot, if we flush into there, you're missing out on some really good gains. So I see that argument. I see it. Maybe I play. I don't know. But we'll see what happens. This is on the 1 hour. I mean, you can say I'm going to probably go off the 4 hour on this one, to be honest with you. I just prefer bigger time frames. No, it's the same thing. 1 hour versus 4 hours. Doesn't really fucking matter. But I'm going to probably watch or log it under the 4 hour, just because it's a little bit of a cleaner bear flag setup, cleaner consolidation breakdown. I don't know. That's really it. So yeah, that's it. That's the trade for the day. I think I don't imagine this is going to be one that fills stop or take profit very fast. If we do happen to get to one or the other fast, usually I lose the faster I get out of a trade, because it usually means I get in, it's a false breakdown, and then we get reversed or whatever. So that's what tends to happen, but you never know. You never know. So that's it. I think I'm going to wrap up. I mean, as much as like it is an interesting day, I don't really care to. I just see absolute drilling across the board. So which is for sure, it's great if you're already in. I'm not in already. I'm outside of Bitcoin. I got in, but in terms of large caps, like Nvidia's down 6.6. That's a fuck ton. I mean, am I going to look for a continuation short today? Probably not. It's a lot. I mean, I don't know, and I don't see a consolidation setup yet. Maybe later on, but I don't see it. And then you're also at that point saying, hey, you think Nvidia can drop 8, 9, 10% today? That's a lot. It could. It could do anything, but that's a lot. And do I really care to trade that? Probably not. If I got in earlier, yeah, but I don't know. So that's what same thing. Everything's just drilling lower, which is good if you're already in. If you're already short, great. But there's no setups to me that are looking like they're setting up. So I'm going to wrap this little eye of trading up. And we got in the Bitcoin trade, and now we just wait. There's nothing really to do other than wait on that. I'm currently up $18 on it, $17 on it right now. But it's got a long way to go for either take profit or stop to be hitting. So that's the deal. Hope it was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.